Hi guys, and welcome to Rossi Audio and a new video. And today's topic is rather important. Um, I'm in my office today, sitting down, a little bit of back problems. So this video will be from the office. Okay, today's topic is pretty serious, and a lot of us guys have who has a collection. It doesn't matter how big or how small. It is important to think about what you will be doing when the time comes. And I'm talking about what happens if you died today, tomorrow, next week, or next month. What happens to your collection? Do you have a plan for it? Do you have you informed your wife, your next of kin, something like that? Have you set up what all this is valued at and what they can get out of it? The reason I'm taking up this topic is because I'm a member of a lot of group on Facebook and some forums online, and it is like it comes up as a joke most of the time. Like, oh my God, I haven't. If I told my wife what this really cost or what I paid for this or what my collection is worth, she would get a fit and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a joke, but for many it's not. A lot of guys or girls or females um, don't play open cards with their loved ones. They might buy a receiver and pay maybe 3 or 4 or 500 bucks for it, and they tell their wife that they only paid 150 for it, just so they will not get into a lot of problems. But that can backfire on you the day that something happens, and they have to go in and clean up after you, and possibly, or most likely, sell your whole collection. Do you want your wife to sell your collection based on what you told her, um, what the value is, or do you want her to get the most back out of it? Have you set up any sales channels that you can access into and possibly sell this and make it easier on her? Um, what if your kids that maybe lives far away and doesn't know how extended your collection is, and they have to face this if they don't know where the best place is to unload and sell this stuff, and let's say you have a lot of special stuff, vintage values, high value stuff, you want to put them in a position where they will be getting most back for it. So what I was thinking the other day, and I have just shortly started myself, I have started making a list of what I have. First of all, that's important, and what it is. So in the process of if someone comes in after you and have to deal with it, they know what it is, they know the model numbers and all that stuff, and they kind of know what it's used for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a database with descriptions and pictures and what I consider market value and possibly what I paid for it. That's probably going to be in there too. And some of the stuff I bought many many years ago, so the prices have changed. Some has gone up, some has gone down. So you never know. Um, so what would you do? I mean, if you come into a position where, I mean, there's nothing much you can do after the fact that if you pass on, and knock on wood that we live many 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 years. But if it happens, are you ready to have them come in and take care of things, and have you made them the have you given them the best platform to work out from? I think it's rather important that we, as collectors, and as the collection grow, to some has 10, 15, 20 pieces, and that's what I call a normal, moderate collection of stuff. But then you have people that has like hundreds, maybe thousands of items. I have seen people that have barns and two-story barns and two-story buildings full of equipment. So for people who have maybe just a regular stereo, a pair of speakers and a tuner and a receiver and an amp or a CD player or a turntable, it's not that hard. But still, leave them something behind that they can go by, so they get the most money because it's kind of like your legacy. And of course, we all should have life insurance and stuff like that to help out. But In a way, if you have a huge extended collection, let's say you have several hundred items, that in itself can be a very valuable life insurance for your next of kin and the ones that comes after you and have to deal with this stuff. So why wouldn't you give them the real value? Um, I always tell my wife what I pay for stuff, and I'm always upfront and honest about it. I don't see any reason why I should put a lower price on it. She knows I love this hobby, and she knows I love vintage audio and audio in general. So I always thought like if something happens, I want her to be in the best place. And when she told me one time, a long time ago, and she has repeated it a few times, but I told her, don't do that. Because she said, when I told her and I asked her, and she said, well, I'm just going to sell it cheap to get it going. And I'm thinking, like, why? I have this collection and it's worth a certain amount of money. And why would you just sell it cheap just to get it going? Let me then educate you as long as I can. And if something happens, here is documentation of what I have and what it's worth and what you should sell it for, and possibly make a list of possible customers. Like I know a lot of dealers and repair shops and stuff like that. So I told her, if you need help, you can always contact these people. They will probably help you because they know who I am. So they will probably help you out. So I think if you are in a position where you have, let's say, a collection of 20, 30, 40 items or more, or you are a big collector and you have storage units full, you have a barn full, storage sheds, you have maybe the whole basement is full, at least give your wife or husband or daughters and sons and whoever it is that comes after you a chance to get the full value, at least close to it. At least that way you have given them some kind of a guidance. What they choose to do is a different thing, but most likely if you talk to them about it and say, hey, this is my retirement fund, but it's also my kind of like life insurance for you because if something should happen, there is at least maybe 10, 15, $20,000 in value in here, or maybe more. There's people who have collections that are in up in the hundred thousands of dollars. Um, and there's always cost when someone passes away. The ones who are left behind will always be left behind with a bill. I have seen it twice within the last 2 years. Close to me, my dad died and my father-in-law died, and in both cases there were always expenses left behind. And I know that my mom, she sold a lot of my dad's stuff to cover up for the bills that were coming, like his tools and a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, he left her with a house. She's still having that house. He left her with some other stuff, and she'd sold some of the other stuff uh, to compensate for the bills that were coming in. She sold his cars, so stuff like that. So but not everyone is so fortunate to have a lot of stuff that can be sold. So if your man or your wife or whatever leaves behind whatever it is, but if it is a great collection of stereo and vintage audio, take advantage of it and make the people that comes after you prepared. Um, and because in this business, there's a lot of buyers. They can put it on eBay, and there's a lot of buyers. But both you and I know as collectors that there's a lot of slimy buyers out there that will take advantage of you. People like that, a grieving wife or something like that, or a grieving daughter and son. They will be taken advantage of. So if you have given them the tools to sell this for a fair price, market value, or whatever, that is what we should do. It's just a thought that I put out there, and I think there's something we all should look at. I hope you take this the right way and look at it and include your people around you, your wife and your kids. Have a nice time.